that I had to overcome this morning, but it's actually not that hard to overcome it as long as you have a good routine to lean on. And I know we've all been here, guys. All of us have been here in a point where you're trying to shake it out in the morning. You're trying to shake the cobwebs off in the morning and trying to get sharp, and it's just not happening. The cold shower is always the go-to before reaching for caffeine or anything else. So I did all of that to try to wake myself up before I even had the caffeine. Finally got myself to a decent state, then added in the caffeine, and now I'm ready to go. Okay. So if you guys don't have your go-to routines, make sure you develop them and just know yourself. Know what helps you be the most productive. So good morning, everybody. Great to see you guys on the stream. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. If you're coming back, then welcome back. All right. James, you've been hitting the gym, bro? My boy had the brolicky look. James, you're either eating really good out there and the Guamanese food is fire, right? Or you've been working out, or some combination of both. My boy had the camera on for all of 20 seconds. He was looking, he was taking up half the camera in a good way. Just drop the routine. Says, good morning, George. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Mikey. Let me see what's happening in the Zoom chat before we just jump right into the markets. Okay, Jamil, good to see you on here. My guy Mills is back in the house. Two-step. We got AJ, Alex, Bianca, Bobby, B. Flores is in the house. Carlos, I'm watching you today, Carlos. Keep that microphone muted unless you have a question.
And then you don't fall through
Jamil,
the schedule.
we were just doing great.
I'm not trying to put you on the schedule.
Keep the microphones muted until we have a question. Okay.
Oh,
Gabe, good morning. Jacques, good morning. James, Janae. We got Josh, Lessman, Roman, Stephen, Barry in the house. Good to see you guys on here. Awesome stuff. All right. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get to work, people. Let's get to work. Markets are already moving. Is anybody surprised? Because personally, I am not. Here's exactly what I saw this morning. I have not taken any trades, by the way. I got all the wrong fibs up because I was looking at all these pairs for you guys, the Forex pairs. So I had all these weird fibs that I don't normally use. I got my 50% fib. What is going on? I got my 50% fib. That's crazy. I'm going body to wick right here. We have not retested the 88.6. No problem. So what I'm trying to do is I always want to find my lows. So I had a low down here, then the market started to push. We established a floor. We established a higher floor. There seems to be this higher floor situation here. Then the market started to build. We had support forming here. So support got retested here. And then now we're forming higher lows. So if this is my floor, we had a break and retest. Did we hit the 88.6? We came pretty close. Pretty close. All right, to the 886 if we go body to wick. And so we had this break and retest this morning where the market pushed up and then started to break out of the zone. I would like to see a retracement back down to these lows so that we can buy it again, but the market's already pretty aggressive. We're already an hour removed from the market open. So the likelihood that we have that full retracement back into the range is a little bit less likely. But I'm not giving up on it just yet. How that would look is we've established that new floor, which is right here. And the fibs just reset like that on me? That's crazy. Perfect. Okay. So whenever we start to see the retracement, typically there's a market open push. We start to get a very aggressive move in one direction, and then the market will pull back after everybody's been waiting. Like all the patient traders have been waiting, but they don't really know what they're waiting for. And so as soon as the market starts to turn around, maybe people start to get into shorts. So whenever they just start to buy it up at whatever price level, like if it's right here, they'll look for a break and retest kind of situation. Personally, I would like to see this, a pullback, because I'm always asking myself, what's the most obvious thing that's going to happen? And that's usually the wrong, that's not the move you want to take. If it's too obvious, it's probably a trap. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. So what happens is whenever you see the flag retracement, break and retest, this is so textbook. And that's why I don't trust it. But what I like to see is I want to see that happen because it's trapping liquidity and it's showing that they are actually cooking up enough trades on the opposite side to really pull off something huge. So I do want to see these on the way down, but then I want to see that push down to grab all the stop losses, to hit the 16,630, and then potentially continue to the upside. All right. Now, we were talking about this yesterday, where if the market violates and breaks back down, we'll be looking at the 16,444 area, kind of like a break back down here. So just for now, not looking too likely, because once you have a violation, once you have a break above the previous highs, what it's showing is that buyers are willing to bid the market higher than they previously were. And so this was the highest price, 16,690. This was the highest price that institutions were willing to keep buying NASDAQ from. Now that we've broken above, it shows that there is enough buying interest. There is enough of us on the sidelines looking to buy that are willing to buy it up higher than that 690 price. And so if you used to go into a store and like $15 was the highest anyone would pay for the 5-piece, and then you go to the 5-piece, it's $15. That's the most anybody would pay. Every time it got to $15, they would raise prices, less people would start buying. Now you walk in at 1635 for the 5-piece, and everybody's in line paying for it. You're like, well, clearly that price is about to stay because people are paying that high price. The buying interest is there. And this is the same thing with markets. If institutions are willing to bid the market higher than before, it shows that there is enough buying interest to push the market higher. And that's why I'm looking right now at a buy move, because we've confirmed the buying interest, but the price, the entry price, is way too high. So we buy down here, we do not buy up here. And so now it's just a patience game of waiting for the market to pull back to a very attractive price for us to be able to get in. Make sense? Bentley, you said you've been trying to get into the Zoom, but you can't. What's the deal? Are you in the... Okay, first off, if you took the NAS100 masterclass in December, put a 1 if you've already got your certificate and you completed. Put a 2 if you have not gotten it. Because I just checked the numbers yesterday. I'm having my team basically take lead on making sure everybody's graduating and everyone's going through. I'm talking to them yesterday. They're like, bro, they got half the folks that haven't graduated. People took the information, they watched the videos, they attended the 3-day class, and they were like, oh, that's enough. That's enough. I got so much heat here and so many good notes. I don't have to do the final exam. Let's not get lazy here. And if you want to have, okay, so you only have a Discord link. So Bentley, are you in the private chat? Because if you're in the private chat, you should have access to the Zoom calls. I drop them every single day in that private chat. The only people that don't have access to the Discord are the ones that haven't graduated. And those are the ones that keep asking us for the Discord access. And it's like, buddy, what makes you think you're about to just be lazy and then not finish the course and then still get access to the group chat? That's wild to me. Okay. This is a very simple market structure that is forming. I want you all to keep your eye on the simple things, which are the higher floors that have been established. Okay. And so the next thing that will happen is I'm looking for a higher floor to be established so that I can buy here and continue this market trend. It's very, very simple. Doesn't get, like this is it. This is about as simple as it's going to get. We have a push up. We're waiting for a pullback and a continuation. Jermaine said I didn't get access yet. Jermaine, if you've finished all the prerequisites, reach out to us through email at info@chartaddictsfx. info@chartaddictsfx.com, and that's going to give you access. 2 big announcements. Number 1, if you haven't already finished your final exam, make sure you finish it. Number 2, if you guys were in the NAS100 masterclasses and you have finished your exams, you have this is an open invitation to the final review call that is tonight. tonight at 7:30 p.m., I'm doing a final review call where I will cover all the topics from the masterclass and show you guys the trades that we've been taking live and how that plays into the strategy that I taught you in the masterclass. My Discord only has the public chat. So Bentley, here's what you do. There's going to be a tab here that says request assistance. There's 3 buttons. Okay. General support, BASC gold trait, and then request VIP access. This is for a partnership we did with the Bored Ape Solana Club NFT project, where if you owned one of those rare traits, you get free access to the Discord. And then the request VIP access, click that one. Okay. It's going to be the email that you used to sign up, and then just hit submit. My team will look through it and give you the necessary access. This should only take a couple hours maximum. My team is always checking the requests and making sure folks get in. All you have to do is refresh your app and you'll get full access. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Registered. See you tonight. Walter, that's awesome. It said 8 p.m. Okay. It's probably 8 p.m. I say 7:30. Kind of make sure folks show up on time. It's 8 p.m. Walter's already registered. That's awesome. Wait, if you graduated, you get access to the daily Zoom calls. Yes, Autobahn. I say this every stream, and I'm going to continue to say it on every stream in case people miss it. If you graduated from the NAS100 masterclass, you get 1 month access to the VIP chats to come and see what all the hype is about. If you have gotten your certificate and have not claimed that free month, please do so ASAP. If you have not finished your certificate and you keep bugging my team for access, you're not going to get it. You have not done the bare minimum, and you do not deserve to be in the group chat. You guys got it? Just finish the final. It's 50 fucking questions. What are you guys waiting for? What are you fucking waiting for? Somebody give me one good reason you haven't finished the final exam. I'm going to be as respectful as humanly possible. I promise you I'll be respectful. But please, somebody give me a decent reason why you have not finished the final exam. Because you already paid for the class. You sat through all 4 days. You learned all this stuff. Why wouldn't you just do the last fucking thing? Somebody tell me. Bentley, I'll see you in there, bro. Welcome to the chats. And what's it called? T, if you're on here, whoever just requested access, if they're valid, let them in, see if they can hop on the Zoom call. The Zoom call is in the chat, so you guys should be able to see it. It'll be active. Roy, I see my final interview tomorrow. Can I still attend tonight's review class? Yeah, 100%. As long as you finish the final exam, we're good to go. You don't have to have scheduled the final review call. I just want to make sure you guys do the work and are actually graduating. Roy, what are your thoughts on Swaggy streaming every day, saying he's the first to do it? If you've been doing it clearly much longer. Bro, if you guys haven't realized that people will say fucking anything and nobody checks them on it, then I don't know where you guys have been. Every single day I see people, #1 signals this, best thing this. When I say the best, I stand by it. I'll stand by it in front of a crowd of 1 million, 1 billion people, because I'm not saying it just to blow smoke up my own ass. This is an objective fact that I believe. Now, everybody's trying to pull the Soldier Boy thing. The thing is, Soldier Boy really was the first to do all this stuff. All right? I don't know, Swaggy's the first. I'd say Raja been streaming before all of us. I'm not even the first. We got to be real about this. Am I the first person to have a Q Banks podcast? Am I like when I started a podcast and I went out and I had the first Lambo Raul interview? I had the first Q Banks interview. I had the first Raja Banks interview. I had the first Swaggy C interview. Nope, Swaggy had another one. And I believe he had one with Astro. So that doesn't count. I was the first person to have a TED interview. Not proud about that, but it's still some. Still some. I was the first person to have who else? First one to do Raul and Alex G on the same podcast. Same one to do Q and Anthony's World on the same podcast. Same person or first person to do the only person at this point to have James and Q on the same podcast. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of firsts. We're the first ones to host an industry standard event. So I mean, there's a lot of firsts. But I don't know. Swaggy is not the first to be live streaming. Roy, what are your thoughts? Okay, they don't want it bad enough, but I like Swaggy, guys. Chris, Good guy. All right. He gets a lot of shit on socials. Leave that man alone. He's a great guy, great father. He's a very solid person. Helps out a lot behind the scenes with donating to charities and things like that he just doesn't post. So I don't know, man. Let's not get rid of good people in the industry. Does he actually trade all this stuff? Man, look, you guys got to use your judgment at this point. Stop making me fucking y'all trying to put me on the spot and shit. I'm unable to do the final exam because it looks like I need to have my final review call first. No, George, you just have to have it scheduled. You don't have to have done it. So just schedule it for some other time, finish the final review. Are you not available for the final review calls, Roy? No, I am not. All right. I was for the first 3, 4 days for anybody who was actually serious about getting it done on time. Guys, we're fucking 3 weeks out or 2 weeks, 3 weeks out from the class. You guys think I'm just gonna be sitting here waiting for you guys, waiting for everyone to take their sweet time? Fuck no. Everybody had their chance the first week to see me face to face. That opportunity is gone, but I'm still on your ass to get that shit done. Just because I'm not doing the calls doesn't mean you guys can slack off. There's zero excuse for you guys not having done those calls yet. For real. Keen's World said that's not what that man said. I don't know what the fuck you're even talking about. Damn, bro, you're the soldier boy of Forex. I've been called the Joe Rogan of Forex. I've been called, you know what I'm saying? I don't even fucking know. You can call me the George Soros of Forex. I'll take that one. I sub to this page because the interview, LOL, information to learn. Yep. And we have a ton of great interviews coming out. The problem is, guys, the fucking industry turned into WWE. I had to have a serious conversation with my team about what we are enabling and what we're promoting here. Because we promoted a bunch of folks under the impression that when they sent us these verified track records, that they were fucking legit. And then now, 2 years after, we've learned so much about the industry. I feel like a dirty whore. I feel like I got fucking blood on my hands. So what I'm doing now is holding everyone to a high standard and then holding our own channel to that high standard. And so I'm trying to find the best of the best legitimate traders to interview, and it's getting fucking harder and harder and harder. Okay. So we stopped doing the interviews for a while. You guys can see there's other podcasts that have come up, and then they're about to run into the same problems that we ran into, which is you're going to run out of qualified people to interview and start bringing on fucking whoever. And that's not the game I'm trying to play. I'd rather, our podcasts are timeless. If you listen to any single interview that I've ever done on our channel, 5 years from now, 50 years from now, the information will still be valid. That's the difference between our podcast and the rest. Because of that, I'm not eager to drop every single week. I only want to do the number one, I only want to do the real traders to try to build a place that people can rely on as being legitimate. And that's what the FX Summit is going to do. You guys will see a massive change up from who we allow on stage, who we promote, and who we allow to sponsor the event this year. And I think that we don't have a choice. It's our responsibility to bring the industry forward. We have that opportunity here, and we're going to follow through and do it for you guys. As said, give you a few days and you are no longer on the schedule. I scheduled mine. You canceled it because you were sick. And give you a few days and you are no longer on the schedule. Okay, then it is what it is. You throw him the spotlight and now he wildin'. Ollie trades. Zeus, what are you talking about? Say more. Say more. Say more. I'm interested now. What you talking about, Willis? 16,630. But the reason I just drew the fibs from a few different points is we might not make it down to 16,630. There's actually a very big range here between 630 and 650. Not that big, actually, 20 points. The market might reach the top of that zone or the bottom of that zone. Typically, if there's a gap here, if there's a range that I'm looking to enter from, and there's about a 20-point range, if I'm buying, you guys know about the boxes. Ideally, I want to enter at the low and not at the high. But because it's uncertain if the market will even make it to that bottom price, what I might do is just start layering trades. So scaling in and then closing out the early entries once the market starts to push back in. But either way, this is the trade I'm looking at, is that the longs at 630. My next target is 16,770. And the stop loss is going to be below these lows right here. Frank, let's get muted up, my man. It's about a 2.4 to 1 R. Now like 2.25 to 1. Once the market starts to reject and it pushes up, I'm going to be putting my stops and break even. And so this is just for the purpose of allowing the market enough room that when it comes down here to mess around until it gives us that first rejection. Once we have that first rejection, then we can move our stop losses either closer to the current price once we have that wick through, or we can move it up to break even, depending on if the market is ready for us to, if the market is ready for price to be, for us to put our stops and break even. What does that really mean if the market is ready to put stops and break even? Every single time when the market hits an entry zone and we enter, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, some crazy concept that people seem to forget about, that retests are a part of the market condition. So they put their stops and break even. Bro, risk-free trade. Bink gets hit, and then the market goes your way. And so waiting for that second pullback is one of the first rules I teach folks about moving stops to break even. And a bad habit that got formed from the IML days, or just from anybody who was in IML that ended up starting their courses, is that they put taking partial profits and putting stops to break even as part of the same action. They're like, yeah, I'm going to move stops to break even and take partial profits. Those are two completely different actions. Taking partials is, this is how you guys can think about it perspective-wise. Taking partials is you're sitting in front of a table and money is magically appearing on the table. And at any given moment, you can just grab the money and make it yours. But what most people do is they just keep watching the money build up, and then it just disappears in a heartbeat because the market reversed on them. Okay? In this scenario, when the market makes money available, you have an obligation to capture some of it. That's why I take partial profits. The market has made money available for me, and I chose not to take it. That's a bad sign. So what I really want to do is look at partial profits in terms of, number one, a repeatable system. I take partials at the same place every single time I take a trade. That way it's repeatable. And then because I have a consistent strategy, I can get consistent results. Easy enough. Putting stops to break even, there's always going to be a second test. So it's not like when the market is pushing and you have the ability to move your stop loss, you should do it immediately. I'll take partial profits at the 61, and then I'll wait for the pullback. As soon as the market pulls back and starts to move back in my direction, that's when I'll protect the trade. So you have to wait for that wick that will come back to your entry. It will. It always will. Roy, I attended the first masterclass, but I haven't claimed my access to the VIP. Can I still get access? Jonathan, you attended the class, but did you get your certificate is the real question. Did you finish the final exam, and did you get that certificate? Madeline said, interview Daniel Savage. Bro, Madeline, what do you want? What are you trying to get here? That's the messiest comment I've ever seen in my life. Did you guys just see that? Interview Daniel Savage. And look, I've met Daniel since I moved down here. Not gonna lie, got a few screws loose, but the guy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a decent guy. He's a decent guy. I'm saying he's a good guy, but he's a decent guy. He's not what people make him out to be. They made him out to be crazy because he called out the wrong people. Just like Alex Jones. He's the Alex Jones of Forex, but I like him. The guy is fucking hilarious. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. Nobody, nobody can make me laugh in this industry. Everybody else is just very what's the word? Is it cringe? Everybody's very cringe. You look at that, you're like, oh, stop. Don't do that. Daniel Savage is legitimately funny as fuck. Unintentionally. Fucking hilarious. Will I interview him? No. All right. I already interviewed Mamba, and that makes me feel, bad about myself and my stomach. I don't want that feeling again. Those were the early days of the FX scene. They spread so much misinformation. Isaac, I've argued this before. This current wave of the prop firm Ponzi scheme environment is 100 times worse than whatever IML was doing. These guys left IML and trashed IML to build their businesses and became 100 times worse than IML ever was. So I'm gonna be real. Don't let these guys talk shit about IML to you, because at this point, what they're doing is so much worse. Running a scam brokerage, running offshore investment accounts, taking US client money and putting it offshore and funneling it and all this stuff, way worse than IML deleting signals, which is horrible. James said, I watched that. You guys are messy people. You guys are fucking messy people. This is not TMZ. All right? This is chart addicts. I'm funny as shit and I'm very entertaining, but I'm also not here to give a spotlight to people anymore who don't deserve it. What up, Roy? What's your thoughts on gold whenever you get a chance? Great question. We're at 2023. Oh, nice retracement overnight. What happened? Okay, here's what I see on gold, my bro. So whenever you have a previous high like this and you have a break above the high, that means, again, I explained this at the beginning of the stream, buyers are willing to bid the price higher than they were before. And so we've had this massive bullish push to the upside. We had a break above these highs, and so buyers are in control. Does that mean that we just buy it up right here? No. What I would do is I would look at first this inverted head and shoulders. This is the recent floor. I'm going to explain this actually very simply. There's two kinds of pullbacks. There are either shallow retracements, so in a very aggressive trend, you have a shallow retracement, or you have a deep retracement, which comes a little bit further down before it shoots back up. Shallow retracements are typically 20 to 40% of the previous impulse, which is what we're seeing here. Now, if you want to buy it at this floor, what you'd want to see is something very similar to this. It's not going to look exactly like this because it doesn't do it twice, but you want to see two touches confirm perfectly, one touch go under just a little bit, and what you will do is once it goes under, you can catch the retest and get this thing all the way back up. So shallow retracements are 20 to 40% of the previous impulse. Excuse me. Deep retracements are typically anywhere from 60 to 90%. So you have 60 to 90% of the previous move that will get retested before the market shoots up. So here's your two options. You got this current price where the market will push, and if it holds support, you can take a buy here. I personally don't like these because if you took a buy here, your stop loss would have to be below these lows, which is just horrendous. Okay? Instead, what you can do is if you get that wick down, like if I was to enter this trade for the buys, I would have entered this wick and I would have put my stop loss below this wick. Okay? And it would have gone up just a little bit and then came back and hit break even. Over here, if you get that wick through, I would put my stop loss below this area and you can get away with having that sort of tighter stop loss. More than likely, if you measured this move, I'd look for the 78% pullback, which is going to be at 1991. 1991 pullback would be the ideal higher low entry for this continuation. So take two tries. I mean, you got a good 2 to 1. You have a good 2 to 1 opportunity here. If you can put your stop loss closer, if you see that wick and you can put it close, you might have a 3 or 4 to 1 trade right here. Down here, you got about, you have about a 4 to 1 from this lower trade. Okay, so if you risked 1% here and you lost that trade, you have the potential to make around 4% on this lower trade. Now, if you're taking partials, you're not going to get the whole 4%. Let's assume it's 3% after you took the partial profits. That's still 3 to 1. You'll still make back 3 times what you lost on that first trade. And so you can either try and go, all in on one of those two positions or accept that either one is possible and try for both. Deal? Does that make sense, everybody? Put something in the chats if you guys are good on gold. I feel like that was a very, very well done explanation, and everybody should be on the same page at this point. Like, did he just give himself credit for having a good explanation? Yeah, the fuck I did. You can't expect other people to give you credit. Sometimes you got to give yourself the credit. Okay, baby pips traders are going ham right now, buying this retest. And so that's exactly why I will not do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for two things. Personally, 16,630 is the way to go, but the market might actually get stuck here. It's this whole concept of shallow retracements versus deep retracements. Okay, Jonathan Rodriguez, email us at info@chartxfx for the Discord link. Awesome. Yes, sir, I did. Good stuff. Bro, Daniel sold a 3K bot that everyone lost money, and he kept promoting the bot, then says he'll refund. Yeah, how many people in the industry have done that? Guys, I've been talking about this shit for years. At this point, I'm fucking tired of calling these guys out and doing all this shit because all it does is nobody fucking learns, and I'm the only one who's stuck with the consequences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you all how to make good decisions in life and allow you to go out here into the wild and not get fucking screwed by these people. Somebody sold a $50 bot that they licensed for $50 online and repackaged it for thousands and sold it out to everybody. Everyone lost their fucking money because of bots. But here's why I have zero sympathy for people who lose money on these type things, right? If you paid $3,000 for a bot, you're fucking retarded. Can we all agree on that? Be like, no, 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 bro, I just didn't know any better. How could you say I'm retarded? Bro, like these guys took advantage of me. First off, you took Daniel Savage's word instead of doing your own research. You deserve to lose money. Guys, not everybody's a fucking victim. Some of you are just retarded. Straight up. And I'm not going to treat you like a victim because you're 42 years old. So you didn't want to do 5 minutes of research? Do trading robots work? The answer is fuck no. And the reason why you tried to pay off somebody else, you were willing to listen to a scammer. No research on the scammer either, because this ain't the first time these guys have done this shit. These guys, every year, they have 3 or 4 products that just completely go to shit, that they milk, and then they just do it over and over. So you wanted to do zero due diligence. You didn't want to read a single article. You didn't want to read a single fucking Reddit joint. And the reason why you wanted to give him the money is you did not want to learn how to trade. You didn't want to learn how to trade. And so you just gave your money to somebody else who was a known scammer because you were that fucking pitiful. And then you want to go out and be like, oh, that person's a scammer. We've been known. But what you just told everybody was that you do not do due diligence. Now, there's a large group of people who don't talk about being scammed in the industry because they don't want to be embarrassed. Getting scammed is an embarrassing thing. I used to have clients at Merrill Lynch that would get scammed on these over the phone, the elderly clients would get scammed on these over the phone scams. And they wouldn't tell me until much later, until we discovered it. Boy, can you please delete that dot off your screen? It's driving me fucking crazy. What dot off my screen? Delete the dot off my screen. What are we talking about here? Bro, shut up, real Biggie Smalls. How about you grow the fuck up and not get distracted by a dot? You're not a cat. All right? Grow up. I'm talking. Now you just fucking threw me off with that dumbass comment, bro. All right. Well, fuck. I hope that little fucking fixation was worth interrupting that very important service announcement. All right, word, bro. I lost 3,000 of work money in a bot. Someone told me I should have traded the money and lost it myself. No, you should have taken the fucking money and bought a quality course like the masterclass that we provide, so that you're not wasting money and gambling your money away. Trading is not rocket science. There's rules to this game. You're either going to pay somebody who knows what they're doing and learn this shit correctly, or you're going to keep trying to find cheat codes and getting taken advantage of and getting fucking mollywopped by every scammer in the industry. These are your two choices. You don't have any other choices. Everyone's like, oh no, but what if I do? No. These are your two options. You either pay somebody who knows what they're doing to learn it the right way and you don't have to keep wasting money, or you're going to go out and spend that $3,000 on failed challenges. You'll spend that $3,000 giving it to some scammers. You'll do every cheat code possible. You're trying to cheat the game in every way possible until you realize you should have just done things the right way from the start. And that's what I tell people. Like, it's not about will they come back. No, they will. Everybody will come back at some point. You're either going to quit trading or realize, damn, I should have just spent the money the right place the first time. This is real, y'all. This is real. We can't escape this. You can't escape. You can't cheat the system and expect to get these results. All right. But you guys, let me know if you have some real questions. Like the tabloid stuff is cool, and like calling out these guys is fun and whatever. But I'm trying to leave these people in the dust, and I want to provide some value. Does anybody here have any real questions regarding trading, fundamentals, market analysis, macroeconomic dynamics, anything that's remotely mentally stimulating for me today? Asking his clients, why did you send 250K to a Nigerian friend? That's hilarious.
Yo, Roy, I think you're muted.
Oh, thanks, Gabe. I appreciate that, bro. Somebody was asking if I caught the sells at 88.6 overnight. I was responding saying no, I'm only taking trades in the direction of the trend. When I reviewed over the weekend all the mistakes I've been making on the streams, because really it's been pissing me off the past couple of weeks taking losses on the stream, they've all been counter trend. So I'm going back to the basics, not the basics, but I'm going back to sticking to my strategy, and I'm only taking trades in the direction of the trend. All right. But where do you see crypto in 2024? So we have the Bitcoin halving, which happens every 4 years, which means the total supply of Bitcoin, not the available supply that's already been mined, but the supply that will be available during each mining, like during each mine, the amount of Bitcoin that will get released for the output is going to be cut in half. So you can imagine this like gold miners. You have 100 gold miners working their ass off. On a scale of 1 to 10, they're all working at an 8 out of 10 effort level. They're all just mining for this gold. And they pull out 10 big gold rocks a day. Next year, what's going to happen in the Bitcoin market is where you're still going to have the same amount of miners, and they're still going to be putting in an 8 out of 10 effort. But instead of getting 10 gold bars for their entire efforts, they're only going to get 5 now. The amount that they're going to pull out of this cave is going to be half what it used to be. And so here's the math. It will become twice as expensive to mine this Bitcoin starting next year. And every 4 years, it will get double as expensive and double as difficult. And it will cost twice as much energy or power to mine the Bitcoin. So what's going to happen next year is Typically during halvings, we actually see a dip because everybody's expecting the market to boom. And then we see a massive dip. And then right after that, that's when we see a recovery. So I see the markets kind of pumping in anticipation of the Bitcoin halving. And I think that there's a clock here of the Bitcoin halving clock. $121 days. It's going to be in Q2 of next year, I believe, which is why I'm always talking about the second quarter. April 17th. There we go. So I see buying in anticipation of the halving, then a release, so a dump around the halving, and then a month or two after a full recovery. So I do see that by 2025, we will have reached all-time highs for crypto. And so don't look at like Bitcoin specifically and just investing in the crypto market. You should look at as a long-term endeavor. You should look at this in terms of 3 to 5 years. So use the opportunities that when the market crashes, that you're getting in responsibly and that you're trying to take advantage of those market crashes to, to buy it up. There we go. Rate cuts, that's what I'm hearing a lot of. Well, Jerome Powell said that there was going to be rate cuts. And here's what I'm watching. He said it. I'm going to wait for the first week of January to see if he's serious. Because Jerome Powell, what he should say is, yeah, sorry, guys, no rate cuts in 2024. We're most likely going to start cutting rates in 2025 unless something big happens. So now we know, unless there's a recession next year, Jerome Powell won't cut rates. That's what I'm hoping he says just for the economy's sake. If he allows the Federal Reserve to become politicized, meaning that they're trying to get the Democrats elected, and so they won't do anything too crazy in 2024. They won't stick to their plan. Instead, they will allow the market hype to start picking back up. I think it's a very dangerous thing for the economy, and I think that if Jerome Powell does not stick to the plan, inflation will come back, and it'll come back a million times worse than before. So hopefully no rate cuts next year, but you can't expect Jerome Powell to do anything, especially because he's kind of become politicized at this point. So I measured this thing from top to bottom. I'm trying to find the best price to really draw this from. Because what happened is we've already had the 88.6 get respected a few times. Then we had the 78 retested. I think this thing should be a bit higher here, just like this. Let me actually find the highs. Let me not guess. I'm gonna go body to wick. And typically, when that market breaks out above the 88.6, I'll look for a pullback below the 88.6 right here, around the 60 to 70% mark for that pullback. And if we hold support here, this is going to become our new floor. So personally, I want to see the full 88.6 retracement down to 630. We might not get that, and so we might actually retest this area here, which is 650. That's why I said that there is a 20-point range where the market could push back up from and form a floor. And so I think the smartest thing to do in this case is to scale in, putting the smallest entries at the top, putting the heavier entries at the bottom. If you do not just want to take the risk for the sake of taking the risk, what you would do is instead of taking, scaling in, you would just wait for the lowest entry. That's going to be your best entry price. Okay. So if you're really, really, really prioritizing being selective, you want to wait for that 630 entry. If you have the ammo for it and you want to risk that, whatever you're risking on the account, you can scale in starting at 650, going all the way down to that 630 level. Good stuff. Will proof of stake mitigate the issue in your opinion? Proof of stake. Well, I don't really see the halving as an issue at all. I think that proof of work is the only valid thing in crypto. I think proof of stake, we go right back into the old system where whoever has the most amount of money is running the whole fucking system. Right now, I don't believe that proof of stake is the right way to go at all. And I think the only reason that they're doing proof of stake is because proof of work is too expensive and takes up too much power. They're trying to like use this whole humanitarian or like caring about the environment approach for why proof of stake makes more sense, because proof of work means that you have to buy this computer, you have to buy this mining computer, and then you have to plug it in and use electrical power to run the system. And the more electrical power that you're generating, or not generating, that you are consuming in order to do this work, the more say that you have in the overall system. So the miners are in control, and anyone can be a miner, and anyone can be a node, which is somebody who has a computer that verifies the transactions in the system to allow you to be part of the system. And everyone's sort of created equal because the more mining capacity you have, the more say that you have. I think that that's the right way to go. And I think that proof of work, especially for Bitcoin, which has a limited supply, and over time the supply will only get more limited. I think that is the best way to run a financial system. Man, that makes a lot of sense. Always looked at it from the environmental standpoint like a sheep. Just look at it from who wants to have proof of stake. It's the ones with the most amount of coins. Buddy, if I was in the top 5% of Ethereum holders, I'd be fucking promoting proof of stake every day because I would just stake all of my coins and I would have immediately the most voting rights. Okay? The only way you can have the most voting rights in Bitcoin is through a 51% consensus. You have to get everybody to be on the same page. Now, guys, we couldn't even get half the world on the same page with a global pandemic that threatened the lives of every single person in the world. At least that's what we thought. We thought that it was way more deadly than it was. And so if a pandemic that could have threatened humanity, and if the risk of nuclear war, and if these things are not going to allow the world to have a more than 50% consensus, I don't think that a 51% attack is likely. That's why I believe that proof of work is a superior system. And now over time, as we actually develop nuclear, what we really need to do is have renewable energy, not to talk about how the Bitcoin miners are ruining the environment. Okay? If I was the government trying to protect the currency that gave me the power that I have, if I'm trying to protect the dollar as a US politician or a US central banker, I would be shitting on proof of work every day. Being like, look how bad that is for the environment. Look how bad that is for the environment. God, has anybody ever looked into how much the Swift payment system is costing us in terms of environmental cost? Nobody has ever done that shit. So the people who talk about these things in a negative light are typically trying to protect the existing system that gives them their value, and they're trying to protect the future for the progeny. So they have a rational reason for why they're poo-pooing all the good stuff in crypto. The proof of stake is just a giant sham. Ethereum should be ashamed of itself. Okay. Bitcoin is the easiest asset to crash. I think it might reach new highs, but only the purpose of exit. David, with all due respect, brother, that makes zero fucking sense. So it's the easiest asset to crash. That's just objectively not true. So number one, just based off of what you're saying at the very beginning, not true. I think it might reach new highs, but only for the purpose of exit. See, the whole I think thing, it's the same as I feel. I feel like it has more room to go. Okay, that's the beauty of Bitcoin is we don't have to go off of feelings and thoughts. We can go off of objective math. Bitcoin has a scarce limited supply. So we have 21 million Bitcoins that will only ever exist. About 18.5 million of those are already in circulation, which means you can go buy one of those today, which leaves about 2.5 million Bitcoins, or let's call it 3.5 million Bitcoins. Is it 2.5? My bad. 2.5 million Bitcoin that still have not been mined. These 2.5 million Bitcoins, I believe it will take about 150 years to mine the last coin. Hold on. We just rejected the 88.6. This might be a little bit messy, but these are the levels that if we stay above these zones here, this thing could push up. And so right now we were having a rejection of the 88.6, which is good. What I want to see is a push down. And then if we close above the 886, we close above this whole area here, after we have this wick down. First, I'm going to try to enter at the bottom of the wick, but there's a lot of guesswork involved here. So instead, I want to see the wick down, and if we have that closure above the highs, and the candle doesn't even have to close, the 30-minute candle doesn't have to close. It just has to wick down and then come back above and recover. If it does that, I'll enter right here, stops below wherever that wick is, and then take profits at the new highs. If the market continues to drop lower, I'll enter at that 16,630 again. So right now, just a bit of patience to have that break through these levels. See if we're going to stay above the 1650, 16,650. And if that happens, we're going to see this push coming back up like this. All right, bit of patience here. I caught the sells at the top wick. Good stuff. Will proof of stake mitigate the issue in your opinion? No. How do you think the ETF's approval in January will affect Bitcoin? Do you think that there's much hype about it and they're just gathering buyers? The thing about, and Luke, how are you unmuted again, bro? But every stream, no, you know what? I'm gonna call you out today. This is the 5th stream in a row. Luke, come on. I gotta hold it. I was about to do you a disservice and hold you to a low standard. Fuck no. All right, let's talk about the ETF. ETF, they've been floating this idea around for a long time. And the first example, because when I was working at Merrill, they started to release, I would always talk about Bitcoin and crypto, and they'd just be like, bro, that's never going to become part of anyone's portfolio. Just stop lying to yourself. That's just some whoop whoop over there. This is in 2019. 2020, we started getting word that crypto, like we were at Merrill Lynch, we were getting research information about crypto and how it could potentially belong in someone's portfolio. And then over the years while I was working there was more and more education that we had to go through about Bitcoin. These guys didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, but it was cute. What I was tracking was the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. GBTC was an ETF, kind of like an ETF. If you guys have ever invested in gold, there's a very important ETF called GLD, which is it just tracks the value of gold, but you don't have direct ownership over it. So GBTC was the same as GLD. It was a crypto ETF that just tracked the performance of Bitcoin. And it was doing very well, and it overperformed every ETF in the market. And so that was the big wake-up call for institutions that, hey, Bitcoin is the single highest performing asset of the last decade. Year over year, it will overperform any asset that you throw against it. Anthony Pompliano, who came and spoke at our last FX Summit conference, he issued a public bet for $1 million in 2020, I believe, or 2019, that if Wall Street could find any asset over the next decade that will overperform Bitcoin, they'll get the $1 million. And so far, not a single Wall Street firm has been able to present another asset that could overperform Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the highest performing asset. So long story short, the ETF will allow many, many billions of dollars to enter the market. The reason I don't like this is because there's a very famous belief in the crypto market. And I've been involved in crypto since 2015, 2014. Not your keys, not your coins. When you do not own the private keys, which is this passcode and this identifying ID, when you are not the full owner of this money, it's not yours. When you put your money on Coinbase, what you're doing is you're giving custody to Coinbase to be the owner of your money. So you're like a creditor. You're loaning it to them. They have to pay you back with an IOU. You don't really want to do that. With an ETF, it's even worse. You're not even pretending to own the Bitcoin. They're owning it for you. You have zero rights to it. If there's 21 million of Bitcoin and there's 18 and a half of them, we're all fighting for the last 2.5. Bitcoin's going to become $1 million asset. If you think about how expensive it's going to be for us to, by the way, guys, I see the rejection. I'm not buying in the high of the range anyways. If I don't see a liquidity grab through, I can't, based on my strategy, I can't buy this thing. So I will happily allow this thing to keep pushing because my job is not to be in this trade. If I believe the market's going to be up here, my job is not to just be in the trade. My job is to get the best possible entry. And buying at the highs right here is not part of my strategy. For us, it's buy low and sell high. So I will not be chasing this market in any way, shape, or form. So if you guys are watching this thing break out saying, wow, Roy is so busy explaining the Bitcoin thing, he's missing the trade. I just addressed that for you right here. So with Bitcoin, I think that it will be the highest performing asset. I think that the ETF will allow many people to get in, but unless you're unsophisticated and unless you're incompetent, do not buy these ETFs. Understand the value of owning even the smallest piece of a Bitcoin and being one of the few people in the world that actually own a piece of a Bitcoin will put you miles beyond other people in terms of investments. All right. So, you want to be part of this club. You guys hear people poo-pooing Bitcoin like JP Morgan. Why would JP Morgan shit on Bitcoin? Because if there's a limited supply, why would you go out here and promote it to people? You want to own as much of it as possible and be the future. And so I think that these companies have a very good strategy of just talking down on Bitcoin for the purpose of acquiring as much of it as they can for themselves, which is exactly what I would do. Straight up. Can't blame them. You got me? NAS will push lower. All right, well, who can see the future? Are there any superheroes that can see the future? Who's the kid from fucking Back to the Future? Dude, I'm blanking on all these obscure cultural references today. I don't know why. It's been a long day. But basically the joke was, just so you guys can laugh still, because I'm fucking hilarious. I was gonna call this dude the kid's name. It's not Giamatti. No. James said not a superhero. Nostradamus. Well, that's why they call me Pipstradamus. Pipstradamus. I'm not gonna give him that name. I'm trying to make a dig at him. He said Nas will push lower. Basically, I was going to call him the old dude from Back to the Future because this guy clearly has a crystal ball that none of us else have. Okay? No, Nostradamus. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. Let me find that jersey. Let me show you all something real quick. Nostradamus for real. I pray I can find it. All right. Give me a second. The title is given. Oh, sorry, it's earned. It's not given. So first we got the baseball jersey with the chart addicts on the front in cursive. I don't even know if y'all can see this. All right. And then on the back it says, Jesus, what the hell is wrong with this thing? Okay, it says Pipstradamus on the back. Pipstradamus. He said nobody calls you that. Not you're the only person that doesn't. If you guys have seen me call trades down to the last point, down to the 5th decimal place, and I've done this hundreds of times over and over, then you're either ignorant or you're blind. Some things are objectively true. Some people want to say, oh, I'm the best at this, just to say that they're the best. And then other people have proof. And so the proof is in the pudding. That was a fire explanation on BTC ETFs. Also, do you feel like it defeats the original purpose of Bitcoin to have an asset that can't be regulated like the dollar? And Mike, now we're on the same page. 100% yes. It defeats the whole purpose of having money outside of the traditional system that can't be regulated away. And the way that I see Bitcoin, the reason I'm such a big fan of Bitcoin is because for me, I see it as an insurance policy to the traditional system. The traditional system, they will continue to bastardize the dollar and print about as much of it as they want, and they will continue to kick people out of the dollar system and to use it as a weapon against its own people unless there is a backup option for everyone else. And so the backup option, I believe, needs to be Bitcoin. The backup option of if you guys keep fucking up the monetary system, we're all going to off ramp to something else. We'll gut the current monetary system and we will all off ramp. And without that risk, the government and the central bank will continue to bastardize the dollar system because they can. So, do you guys also see how accurate this is? We called the break. We called the retest back in. I called the retest of this previous high right here, how it's going to reject, but I'm still waiting for that real move down. Isn't that awesome? Oh, he had the sports record book, that fucking the almanac. My boy had that sports almanac. This guy Hitman. He came back from the future. Said that's a fire jersey. I appreciate that, Mike. Shout out to O for the gift. It was a gift from co-founder Chart Addicts, Omer Kambal. We were just crushing it. I was calling out trades for the last pip. This is back when I was sending signals, and the signals were just ridiculous. Yeah. What do you think about XRP in this current crypto environment? I think XRP is a great technology. I think that they have they're they're putting the SEC in a very difficult spot, which I love. They're in a clear battle with the SEC, but the SEC is stuck because they wanted to hold XRP as an example and to use them as a martyr for everybody else to see as an example, like this is what's going to happen to you. Now, they cannot admit that XRP is a security without admitting that every other crypto coin is also a security. So now they're completely screwed. If they claim that XRP is a security, then crypto is done in America. In which case, they're going to fire Gary Gensler before they outlaw crypto in America. And so I think that they're just at a stalemate. They're trying to bleed XRP slowly with this fucking lawsuit until Gary Gensler gets fired. And I hope it's sooner rather than later. Gary Gensler needs to be fired as soon as possible for what he's done to innovation in this country. America was going to be the stronghold for cryptocurrency. It was going to be the stronghold for innovation in these technologies because we have freedom in America. Remember what that is? And then we have regulatory agencies like the SEC and the CFTC and FINRA overstepping their bounds, trying to basically stifle innovation. And so now all these companies are leaving America, going somewhere else, and taking all this innovation with them and fucking our country up. So yeah, fuck Gary Gensler, number one. This other thing that I just saw, where every small business, I don't know if you guys saw this, every small business now has to report through the Corporate Transparency Act. Yeah, you have to report everything to FinCEN. FinCEN is the Financial Enforcement Crime Network, or Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. It's a part of the Treasury Department that's supposed to go through and look at bad people doing bad things in the economy. Probably good, because look at how many fucking scam companies there are left and right today. So maybe FinCEN should do their job. But making every single small business operating in the US to go through FinCEN for some fucking reason, when we haven't had to do that over the last decades, I think is another one of these examples of the regulatory agencies overstepping their congressional legal bounds. Congress gave them a very clear outline of what they're allowed to and not allowed to do. And these guys are having fucking power trips because nobody, like, they can't really enforce a lot of these laws. And so now they're trying to basically dick everybody around. Here's my advice to the financial regulatory environment in America. Go find the $1 trillion that got lost at the Pentagon. Go and find out exactly and do an audit of the money that's been sent to Ukraine and been sent overseas. The $1 trillion that's been missing at the Pentagon is American taxpayer money. So instead of trying to watch people's $600 transactions on Cash App or forcing small businesses, there's a $500 a day fine. $500 a day. Okay, that's $3,500 a week. That's $14,000 a month in fines if you don't register into this program. So instead of fucking over small businesses, go and find out what the fuck happened to the money at the Pentagon and do your job. That's what I would tell them. Go and find out the commingling of funds at these major commercial banks. Go and find out what's happening between the non-recourse laws with the pharmaceutical industries monopolizing other pharmaceutical companies, and leave the fucking citizens alone. That's my advice to the regulatory environment in America. This has gotten ridiculous with this overstep, and I really, really hope next year, I pray next year, that we have a red wave come in. Because what they're going to do is deregulate the majority of these fucking scam ass entities inside the government, and that all they do is try to find these small things and stifle innovation. And then they miss the big stuff. Why do they miss the big stuff? They do it on purpose. Gary Gensler wants to go work at one of these private companies after he's done. So he's not going to step on the real toes that he needs to step on. He's going to go and fuck up these small business companies that are trying to push innovation in America. That's the problem today. The big guys get away with everything, and the little guys get fucking screwed every step of the way. And I think that pre-social media, pre our ability to have this conversation, they're going to keep getting away with it. But today, this shit is not going to fly. And so I don't know. That's where I see XRP. Marty McFly. That's the name. That's the name. Fuck. Nobody else could have found that out. It's Marty McFly. Which, by the way, I just realized that was Kobe Covington's nickname for Kamaru Usman in their first Marty Fake Newsman. Oh no, that's because his real name is Marty, wasn't it? Never mind. Skip that one. The Back to the Future reference is fucking hilarious. Anybody in trading that says something will happen, if somebody that is trading or you're learning from them in trading and they speak in absolutes, saying this will happen, or they speak in absolute certainties, they're lying. Or they got the fuck, or they're Marty McFly. Because they went to the future and saw what happened and came back and now they're telling us. And you definitely marked this yesterday. I wish I traded NAS. I wish I traded NAS. But you're acting like the Prussian army is standing in front of you. Y'all drop a like real quick on the stream. Drop a like real quick so this thing can be pushed out to everybody and they know that there's real trading going on somewhere. They don't have to go to the scammers. Come in. Come on, everybody. Like the stream so we can show people that there's a real stream happening at this current moment, that they don't have to go to these. Number one, there's some real traders out here streaming, but they're very fucking boring. Number two, everybody else is just doing it for entertainment, allowing goddamn anything to happen on these streams. Said resign Gary. No, to be honest, someone should just fire him. Because if he had any dignity, he would have already quit. He would have already resigned, realizing that he single-handedly ruined crypto innovation in America. I put my whole team on this call. Mike, probably the greatest thing you've ever done for them. Congratulations. By the way, bro, thanks for commenting back. Of course, as I promised you all, if you ask a legitimate question that is stimulating, I will answer it, and I probably have an answer. If you're a troll, you're going to get lit up. And if you ask a stupid question, and I'm not one of these guys that like, there's no such thing as a stupid question. There's a lot of valid questions. Like if you're new to something, there is no such thing as a stupid question because you don't know. A stupid question comes from someone who's been doing something for 2 or 3 years and has already heard someone explain it 50 times, but chooses not to believe them. That's a stupid question. So as long as you're not asking stupid questions, or as long as you guys are not being disrespectful and whatnot, you're going to get a solid answer from me every single time. Show some love. He said, show some love to the favorite host. Castro Pips says, smash that like button. Everybody, full margin the like button real quick. Full margin the like button. And have some patience. We're not done with this yet. We're not done with this retracement yet. I'm still waiting. All right, we've had a nice break above the range. I love to see it. What I'm seeing is this. Now, will this happen during our stream? Probably not. It's sunny outside. I haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks in Miami. I'm going to go do outdoor activities after this, and I'm going to go meet with a ton of sponsors for the FX Summit 2024 conference. If you are in a group chat, because we're about to be, we're reaching out to as many people as we can, the sponsors and exhibitors. If you guys are part of other group chats, just put up in the group chat asking who's showing up to the summit, and let's just get a gauge. And then especially ask these mentors and all these guys, if they want to come and promote themselves at the summit, they're running out of time to sign up as an exhibitor or sponsor. So if you guys are in different group chats or you know people personally who are going to come and have a booth or come and be an exhibitor or whatever it might be, tell them to reach out ASAP. Otherwise, they might miss the mark. Okay? We're running out of time here, but I will be meeting with tons of sponsors going into the end of the year, which if you're asking why I'm no longer available to do calls, that's why. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've been debating whether or not to do coaching in January because I've really been trying to prioritize my time. And as much as I love coaching and I love bringing people over from the struggle into the confidence, I also have to respect my own time. So let me just get a gauge. Is there anybody here that was waiting till January to get coaching? I really want to see the show of hands, because right now I'm deciding whether to just completely dead the coaching completely. We're going to do master classes in 2024. We're going to have pre-recorded courses that are interactive on the website. And then we're going to have the VIP community where we're always engaging and we're always going back and forth, through these different trade ideas, and we're collaborating here and everyone's sort of supporting each other. We have the number one Discord environment, I think, in the world, because the community here is just solid, focused on trading and nothing else. Was there anybody waiting on January for coaching? If the answer is no, we're going to stop the coaching completely. I'll be able to just save myself some mental peace and get a few years of my life back. For real. And then we could just hit the next year running. But if there's people that were genuinely waiting, it was a money issue, whatever it might be, and January was when you were going to get ready, commit for the new year, and really make 2024 count for yourself, not leave it up to chance, but really commit, then we will leave it open. But if there's none of that, we're not even going to entertain it. We'll go straight into the world tour at this point. Now, the world tour has taken a slight shift. I told my team, if we're going to hit a city, like if we're going to go to the UK, for example, we're not just going to go to London. If we hit London, we got to hit Manchester. If we hit Manchester, why not go to Liverpool? Right? So I think that whatever cities we hit, we're going to hit multiple cities that are close, because we're trying to meet as many people in person as possible. I'm buying my tickets soon. Breezy in Dubai. Guys, you have 14 days left officially until the end of the year. There's 14 days left until 2024. The master class is half off, and the FX Summit is half off. Do not miss this chance, because I know in January everyone's going to be asking, bro, please, promo code. This is your reminder, everybody. FX Summit tickets and the master class are discounted. Now, why do we do that? Because the people that are serious about it, that are going to commit, you'll wait 30 days until the master class happens, but you're going to lock in your seat because you know you're coming regardless. And for everybody else, it really is first come, first serve. Are we still having the master class in February? 100% we are. Now I want that master class. Guys, it's half off. Use promo code Chart Addicts. Click the link in the description, put in this promo code in the little discount window. You'll see what you get, and it's going to be beneficial for you to start your 2024 without this gambling. Okay? Yes, I was going to get coaching in January. Well, look, if you guys were part of the NAS100 class, and I know you personally, we'll still have some option inside of the Chart Addicts community for some potential coaching. Said AxeCap needs a booth. We got to get on that ASAP. Dwayne, because I'm trying to lock in a rough number of who we got. Because what's been happening over the years is that we'll get like a good enough number, and then over the months, people just keep trying to pile in. Hey, I got a friend that wants this. Hey, I got a friend, and we have to keep going back to the contractors and reopening the contract and adding more to it. What I want to do this year is from the jump, let's have an accurate feel of who's serious, who's not. If you're not serious, like, I'll think about it later. Good. Stay outside the fucking convention and don't come in. So I'm trying to get as many people effectively to sign up as we can early, so we have a good idea of who we can expect and who is not coming. So reach out if that's you. The best purchase I made this year has to be the masterclass. Victor, I love to see that, bro, because I know how serious you took it, and I know that you really tried to commit to learning that info, and I'm seeing it in your results that you're sending in and tagging us in. Victor, you deserve this success, bro. You've been working your ass off since the first time we met. So good shit. JC says, you the man, dropped a $10 super chat, and I appreciate you, JC. Everybody say WJC in the chat. I appreciate you, bro. There we go. Like I said, we've completely eliminated ads from these streams because we're sort of depending on whenever we make money, take a little chunk and give it to us so I can pay the team. And now I'm not talking about like the team, I'm talking about the media team. We're also about to start dropping content again. I saw the state of the Forex game and it was so shady and it was getting worse and worse that I decided I just didn't want to be a YouTuber. I didn't want to be out here making content and doing all this stuff. Now I'm realizing that I have an obligation to, only because if I keep allowing other folks to get away with whatever bullshit they're getting away with, the industry is not going to move forward. So I'm going to start making content, really calling things out, bringing on the right people to interview. And I think that we're going to start to clean up the industry one by one. I have to give a massive shout out to Umar. Umar recently did Mike Thurnston's podcast. If you guys are under the age of 30 and you watch YouTube regularly, you might have heard of Mike Thurnston, right? It's like Chris Williamson, Mike Thurnston. These are guys that are in like the B League podcasting space. Chris Williamson, I'd put him in the A League podcasting space now. My single favorite podcast today is the Chris Williamson podcast. Okay. But Umar did the recent podcast with Mike Thurnston, and he broke down how shady the industry has gotten, how dirty it's gotten. He's just being 100% real. Okay. And so I really love what Umar is doing. And that's why if there's anybody that I'm looking to partner with in this upcoming year to do something legitimate, it's probably Umar's name has to be in that hat. Okay. NAS Masterclass number 4 in Dubai, done. Walter, anybody who has a certificate to the masterclass and comes to the FX Summit, we're having a private meetup for sure. And we're having a private class for sure. Thoughts on these bots they're out here selling? The bots are basically a $50 bot that they bought online and they repackaged it for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and they're milking the shit out of it. None of the bots work. If you could buy a robot that can make you money and you didn't have to do shit, why don't you think that everybody and every institution and everybody and their mom would be using it? The answer is probably yes. What these guys are doing, if I had a bot that I knew for a fact would trade for me, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not fucking giving that out. Giving out the strategy in and of itself is already bad enough for me. I feel like dirty by giving out my strategy because I've worked so hard to build it. Giving out the strategy and then giving out a free robot that's going to make you rich, that's going to do all this stuff, and then licensing it for $1,700. Yeah, fuck no, those bots don't work, right? If it was between letting one of these fucking fake bots trade my money or just eating glass, I would rather eat glass. So hopefully that answers it. 78% win rate. That's what Ted told everybody before he took everyone's money, right? He had 780,000% returns in his Ponzi scheme, took everybody's money, and now he's hiding in China, and everybody's sitting there with their dick in their hand, looking like an idiot because they got all their friends involved in this Ponzi scheme. He said they're here saying, yeah, they'll literally say whatever the fuck they want. Tell them shut the fuck up, Dwayne. That's what you've got to tell them. Because if everybody's saying stuff, say the right thing, which is this robot does not fucking work. You're trying to sell me a $50 robot for $1,700, $2,000, $2,500 that doesn't fucking work. And it's probably the same robot that so-and-so just sold and dumped. Right? You see, like Daniel was pushing the same bot that Raul had. They all got that bot from online. Like, this shit is just retarded, bro. This is retarded. He says, you mean Uncle Ted? Yes. Ted told everybody, or at least the affiliates were telling people, oh, there's this gold bot that's crushing it. There's this gold bot that's crushing it. And other people were being told, oh, there's this master trader that's crushing it. Neither of those were fucking true. It was a massive Ponzi scheme. The money was never being traded. If it was, they traded it long enough to blow every fucking dime. And then they just started faking it from there. So no, there is no bot that works. If there is a bot that works, there's something very shady happening there. And I would just be careful. And what a lot of people will do is they'll know this shit, but then they'll look at this and be like, this is I feel like the calculus that people made with the TED situation. Yeah, this guy's pretty fucking good at this Ponzi scheme thing. Let me just keep my money here. This guy obviously seems to know what he's doing. And so those people I have no sympathy for when they lost their money. It's like you made money, you didn't pull it out, you got very greedy, and you got to pay the price. And so anybody who's investing in these products, just know that you're going to lose your money. And just don't go crying after. Nobody wants to fucking hear the tears of somebody who, like, you're a grown man, make a decision, you lose your money, good. Pick up and learn your fucking lessons. But the people that invested with Ted, they didn't learn a goddamn thing. Every single person who lost a shit ton of money, their money is trapped. They're still hoping they're going to get their money back. The money is not fucking coming. No one is getting a dime of that money back. I hope you guys understand that shit. And I've thought about having Ted back on the stream to come and explain himself. But I think he's going to tell everybody the same. He's going to tell everybody a lie, right? He's like, oh, everyone's going to get their money back. And this was just a this and that. And this was, no, the fuck it's not. That money is never coming back. But the people who invested with him and lost it, they're looking for the next place to push their money. Does anyone want to take a guess where the FX winning and the traders domain investors are now? Which thing they're invested in? Take a guess. There's a ton of different scams happening in the industry. Guess where they're all at. This will tell you exactly what you need to know about their mindset and about what, you know what I'm saying? Where you guys think they're invested in right now? Which one of these regulated brokers? Thoughts on the prop firms and their monthly competitions. To be honest, that's the only thing they do that I feel like is a win-win. Because first off, I'm a competitive person. I love it. They allow themselves to compete and you get to be on the leaderboard. And I think you get free accounts and stuff if you're on the leaderboards. So if you're completely broke, but you have the skill set and you want to compete, you can go to those monthly challenges. And I think that they're awesome. So I actually do like that. Now, if I'm a prop firm, what would I be doing? Is just looking at the results of all the traders, wins and losses, and I'd be putting money behind winners and I'd be, betting against losers. And you could just learn what makes a successful trader over time. Because you have like the top 10 winners list and you have everybody else. Jermaine Watt just said it. Exactly, my friend. That's exactly where most of them are at now. Invested in some PAM account somewhere, trying to recreate the same results like the good old days. And just like the first time around, how do you think that story ends, Jermaine? How do you think that story ends? These people are fucking retarded, bro. Jamil said I was waiting for the coaching. Yeah, keep coaching for a few more months. Well, it's not going to be a few months, Bianca, because my time is better spent right now protecting my mental peace so I can be the most effective trader, I can be the most effective leader, and I can be the most effective host for the FX Summit. So I don't have a couple months. But here's the thing that pisses me off, guys. It's like we'll do a final thing where in December and January it's the last chance to get coaching. And then nobody takes advantage of it when I have the free time. And then once I'm busy, everyone's like, bro, why'd you get rid of coaching and this and that? And I can't do a disservice to my team and to everybody and just say, nope, I know you guys all want this thing, but we're not going to do it. And so you guys are always putting me in this tough situation. When we opened it up and said this was the last month to get coaching and no one bid on it, and then now everyone's saying, oh, I was just waiting for January. What if I completely throw out the plans that we have for 2024, open myself up for coaching and no one bites? No one wants to do the coaching. Now we just put off the world tour and kind of, held ourselves back for a month. So here's what I'm thinking. If you're 100% serious, make it known to us. Just say, hey guys, I'm 100% serious about coaching. I will get it. Not I'm hoping to get it. I will get it. And then we'll be able to make the time for it. So if that's you, please reach out and let us know your intentions. Otherwise, don't expect us to be waiting for you in 2024. Where's the best place to stay for the 3F Summit in Dubai? To be honest, it's up to you. There's tons of hotels in that area around the Expo City, and there's even hotels inside of Expo City. The easiest thing and the cheapest place to be is around the hotels, but not usually the best environment near the hotels. But it's close and it's cheap if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for something nice, just go as close to Expo City as you can. Okay. The pod is a good one. If you have time, go watch it. And Raul's pushing a bot after he promoted the Fugazi brokers. That kid needs leadership. That's what that kid needs. Okay. I don't want to say that he has a bad heart. Some of these guys are truly, truly evil people. Right? Like, I'm gonna be honest, whatever Ryan is doing on his side, that's what evil looks like. Because he'll sell whatever fucking scam shit, promote whatever scam shit, and then go out there and fucking and talk shit about Q and everybody else for what they're doing, but won't take accountability for leading people into a scam brokerage. I'm not just talking about Sway. every fucking prop firm and broker that he promoted over the last 3-4 years was a massive scam. Now he pretends to be self-righteous. He knows what he's doing and he's intentionally doing it. Raul knows what he's doing too, but I feel like he just genuinely needs some leadership. That boy needs to fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's what I see. Blown accounts, no withdrawal, Dominion markets. And I'll get Ted on here to explain himself. I think that that's a good. What do you guys think? Put a 1 if you guys want to see Uncle Ted come on here and defend himself, right? We all know what's happening. So it's not like we're going to fucking whatever. But at least to come hear his side of the story. Put a 1 if you guys think that that's what we should do. Put a 2 if you don't think that we should give him a platform. And he should stay in the obscurity of irrelevance and he should continue to be on the run. What do you guys think? Where's your Lambo R&R? Daniel Savage's robot really works. If you think that you don't even have your fucking name on YouTube and no profile picture, so now I'm going to take a fucking word that you say serious. Okay? You cannot defend Daniel Savage's bot and then be hiding your face so that there's no accountability that goes back on you. Raul always buys a new car after he takes his DTI intake. Well, I'm glad it only took 4 fucking years for everyone to put that one together. Great job, guys. Fucking Inspector Gadget over here. I had no idea who Uncle Ted is, but 1. Okay, well, George, maybe you should do some research before voting for something. Okay? Because otherwise you might end up in his scheme. He might just convince you to be in his scheme. Jaleesa said I saw that coming. Yeah, you did. Oh, shit. Everyone says 111. Man, y'all are fucking crazy. But I will oblige. Let me actually see if he's free right this second. Does anyone know his name on Twitter? He changes it every fucking 2 months. It was Silence something. Does anyone know his name on Twitter? Bro, I can't find it. I don't have beef with Raul at all. Guys, I like Raul. But at the same time, like, what am I supposed to do? Just close my eyes and ignore the obvious? I'm not a fucking stooge for these people. Right? I like them. But if they're doing something that's genuinely hurting traders, my obligation is to you guys. I could give a fuck about industry connection. My obligation is to the traders. You guys, because I was in your shoes 3 years ago before I knew any of this shit. I was getting pushed back and forth, getting fucking robbed by brokers, getting manipulated in my spreads, getting manipulated in every aspect, just blaming myself all the time, saying I was the issue, I was the problem. Maybe I just can't trade. Maybe trading's not cut out for me. And later you realize that you've just been getting fucking spanked upside down. And so I'm trying to save you all the money because, you know, Raul can afford people to know the truth. He'll be fine. But people putting their last dollar into these scams and then getting fucking robbed every single time is unacceptable. So I'm going to call it out. I don't have beef with him at all. Guys, I don't have beef with anybody in the industry. If I had beef with someone in the industry, trust me, they would fucking know. I don't take beef lightly, and I end beef very quickly and very decisively. I don't sit here and fucking pity patter and tweet on social media. I'm going to let you know exactly what my intentions are. I'm going to bring the fear of God into every fiber of their soul, and there's no such thing as beef for me. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's the reason I ain't scared of a goddamn person in this entire industry. Trust me. Are you not entertained? Oh, are you not entertained on Insta? Tell me that's not his fucking name, bro. Tell me that's not his fucking name. Yo, this if he knows the thing, if there's something I know about Ted, is that he'll show up. His ego is like that. His ego is like that. He'll show up. If he's smart, he'll stay as far away from the stream as possible. Are you not entertained? That's his Instagram name. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm also not sitting here like thinking that he's on the same boat as um Sam Bankman-Fried, for example. He's not on that same boat. He's probably closer to Bernie Madoff than he is to Sam Bankman-Fried. The people who were able to invest $50,000 and $100,000 in this fund should have fucking known better. But their greed and their ego got in the way. The are you not entertained? That's so fucking dirty, bro. But okay. Oh, I believe I was blocked, people. I believe that I was blocked. Go figure. Well, that ain't cool. Let me try this real quick. I don't even want to fucking message him or text him. If I fucking end up in somebody else's YouTube, I fucking end up in a CoffeeZilla video. Um, is Ted the same person as Andy Peters? The fuck? No. Andy Peters is somebody. Why are you connecting Ted and Andy Peters, Zeus? What's the deal? I can't see it either. It's private. Fuck, dude, he had a Twitter because I was on a Twitter Spaces and he just hopped in. Josh said, "Hey, yo, not CoffeeZilla." Have you guys seen the CoffeeZilla video where he exposed all of this? I feel like a lot of you guys haven't seen it. You're all acting like this is new information. Guys, CoffeeZilla exposed our Forex space, and it has more views than almost anything else he's done. Okay? Look at this. Let me show you. I think we have more views than Logan Paul. I don't say we, the Forex scammer gurus. All right, let me find it real quick. Exposing a $500 million Ponzi scheme. This shit has almost 4 million views, and that first video has 5.2 million views. Everybody got exposed in these videos. Jordan Belfort was invested in this dumb shit. Grant Cardone was invested in this shit. Okay? So really go watch these one by one, and you guys will see how dirty the industry actually is. You'll never look at this shit the same again. I can't believe you guys haven't seen this yet. Josh, I'm sure you have. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have seen these videos. Put a 2 if you have not seen these videos. They put it up. I'm acting like I'm out here exposing people. The fuck I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I would, but the work's already been done. All right, so yeah, I'm not sure if I can reach Ted today, but I'm gonna get a hold of him. If anybody here is in direct contact with Ted, tell him to reach out to me and let's see what's going on. But as far as I could tell, Victor, now you know, bro. But I'm gonna make you a promise, Victor. Since the first summit to now, I've been exposed to all this shit, and I promise that every single summit, we're gonna do our best to clean up that industry. We're only gonna allow people to be on stages and be of places of prominence that are genuinely doing right by traders. And over the years, the scammers will get kicked out to the outside. They'll be watching from the outside of the glass. What about Tyler and Mike, the algo traders? They have real algos. So I can't legally promote anything that they're doing, okay? Because there's a bunch of stuff around it. Mike and Tyler know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay? Straight up. And specifically, Mike. Mike is a technologist because Tyler knows how to spot these things and he knows how to build platforms for other people to promote their things. But But Mike is actually the coder behind this shit. And if you're coding the software for these bots, it means you have to understand this thing at a different level. You have to understand how they actually move. So big fan of Mike. We're actually building something in the back end. He's one of the few people in the industry that I like. And we're actually building something very, very, very dope for next year. And we're not going to release it because I'm tired of fucking other people copying our wave. We're going to build out something very, it's going to be the most useful thing for traders. And it's going to be very hard for other folks to replicate because you actually have to know what you're doing to play this game. And so I think that we have the advantage going into 2024. So who all are scamming? He said Holton Bugs was at the summit and he got exposed in the video. That was the worst one, dude. Holton Bugs. Apparently the guy's pretending to be a billionaire or something. Let me tell y'all, man. These guys have no shame showing their face in public. No shame. You guys know how ashamed I would be if I like, you know what I'm saying? Every time I've done something wrong, I was ashamed of it and I just literally I worked until I made it right. Didn't show my face going out here flexing. He said, don't be saying that and then bring Lambo Raul to talk on stage. Well, when was the last time you guys saw Lambo Raul talk on stage? When was the last time you guys saw anybody that I'm talking about talk on stage, except for the two people who were the biggest sponsors? Roy, does YouTube tell you the average age of people watching? Just curious if the reason you have to be a father to everyone is because everyone is still in their diapers. It's not really that. It's like the older folks are more likely to get scammed than the younger folks because the younger folks, like everybody's skeptical now. We've all seen enough scams at this point. And if you've been around long enough, if you made enough mistakes as an older gentleman, then you know way better. But then there's this like middle ground of people that keep getting screwed into these things because they get sold a dream. Desperate people are so easy to sell a dream to. Young people typically are not as desperate as someone who's 40 years old, their life is not going the way that they want. And somebody sold them a dream about how this could be the opportunity to free them from their current circumstance. So that's why I'm talking about that. But the average age of the viewers on our channel are between the age of 18 and 38, and it's about 99% male. And I don't understand that because I love my lady traders. Those, lady traders have a much better shot at this point of being successful, right? Because there's a level of maturity there that men tend to be more degenerate and tend to be more risk taking, and so it invites a lot of gamblers. All right. But that's also a good thing because you're a lot more likely to take on risk when you need to. Lady traders, and I know I'm overgeneralizing and every person is different, and some men and women are slightly leaning more towards feminine and masculine, etc. But just from a general standpoint, women are typically a lot more risk averse, meaning that they make better risk managers, which is really what successful trading is. It's not about being the gambler, balls to the wall. It's about it's about being a risk manager and about really, really, like if you're less likely to take a trade because you're worried about the downside, you're probably going to blow your account a lot slower than someone who is balls to the wall risk taking. So I want my lady traders to step up into that responsibility because you typically, guys, I don't know about y'all. Men, great at making the money in the household. Women, great at managing household expenses because men will just buy goddamn anything. This is true. This is true. Guys, I coach both. I coach people every fucking day. Trust me, I see this every day. Men will do great and find some way to fuck it up just to let that what if. Men let that what if get really, really close. They let it grow, right? And I'm one of them. The fuck, guys, I had to overcome these things myself for years. This shit is not fun. And lady traders, you have to overcome the fear aspect and allow the risk management to be a responsible level of fear, not just, you guys know what I'm saying? Said, Roy, don't start. Why am I pissing off the women already? Or am I pissing off the men? Either way, I don't give a fuck. Roy, what do you think of the My Forex funds making a comeback? The reason I'm calling these companies out is because if you're expecting the law or if you're expecting the marketplace to do its job, it's obviously not doing its fucking job. Because if My Forex funds is allowed to come back, which they will, and a bunch of other companies are still allowed to be in operation, that means the marketplace and the law are not doing their job. So that's why I'm calling everybody out. And I'm not doing it for the sake of calling everybody out. I'm stating the obvious. You guys know how crazy this is? If somebody stating the obvious can shut down your business, what kind of fucking business do you have? Right? If somebody can come out and say, Roy is just selling courses, everyone is selling courses, that's not special. Okay, if somebody's saying that out loud can ruin what I'm doing here. Do I even have anything of value? The answer is fuck no. If someone can say the obvious and ruin my business, I don't have a business. That's what these guys are failing to understand. The only way it works is because no one wants to criticize because they all want to be part of the club. They all want to be part of the fucking club. What fucking club? The penitentiary the fucking prison gang? The CFTC Red List Club? That's the club that everybody wants to be a part of? Like, guys. And so the reason that nobody's really speaking up is because they're hoping that one day they can get in with the guys. Fuck everybody. All right. I'm here for the traders. I'm trying to give you guys the information that you need to not fall into these traps. He said the Holton Bugs guy. Yeah, if the guy wants to pretend to be a billionaire, shows up to our event. Everyone's like, Roy, there's a billionaire Holton Bugs here. But I heard the name, red flags went off immediately, knowing that he was one of the biggest people in that scam. Sky Blue said even was in that video. Sky Blue. Yeah, the fuck he was. Lesson learned. I had a day in the life video that was supposed to drop with him. After I saw the CoffeeZilla thing, that thing is sitting in our vault. Right? I paid thousands of dollars to record this content, yo. Once I saw the video come out and I had the proof that these guys were bullshitting, I have to just dead it. It's sitting there in the fucking thing. But yeah, Holton Bugs, massive scammer. We kicked him out of the FX Summit. He wasn't happy. He was pretending to be a billionaire and shit. I said, get that dude the fuck away from our convention because he's gonna sink the whole ship. Like I can smell the filth from here. And so we got him the fuck out of the convention. Fuck Holton Bugs. Are you on a trade on NAS100? No, I'm still waiting for this pullback. We're creating resistance right now. I'm waiting for a pullback inside the range, and then 16,630, I'll be buying this. More than likely, this will happen around 1:30 p.m. Eastern time or 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So what I would do is I would set an alert at each of these price levels. God damn, dude. My nose is itching like a motherfucker. What the fuck? That's so weird. Yeah, it won't go away. What the fuck, dude? I've been fighting this shit for the last like 15 minutes. It's been bugging me. Set an alert, one on the break back inside so that we are alerted when the market starts to retrace, so I can be on guard. Another one at this potential entry price, which is 16,650, and I'll put it just a little bit above because I don't want to wait until this thing hits the zone to get notified. I want to know before. And then last but not least, 16,630, which is the real entry price that I want to go for. So I'm going to do 16,635. French, you got a question or what's going on? Sky Blue, I've been trading for 3 years. I just stay out to be surprised. Well, good on you. And everybody should just do the same. Okay? Follow your own results. Stick to trading regulated platforms and just stay the fuck away from the stuff in this space. French, I'm gonna ask you one next time, bro. One last time. Do you have a question? Or did you just forget to unmute? Or forget to mute? Said they had a good panel at the summit. It was awesome. It was honestly my favorite one. Because they talked about real risk management. They talked a lot. My favorite speech of the whole weekend, obviously, was TradingView calling out all the brokers in person. That was my favorite by far. And then obviously sitting on stage with Bob Elliott was surreal for me. It was absolutely surreal. Yeah, that was one for the ages. All right, guys. I'm waiting on this. Like I said, my alerts are now set. I've given you guys the exact entry prices that I'm personally watching for. I've given you guys the exact playbook that I'm watching for. If it doesn't happen now, it'll push up, and then we'll come back to these areas for a retest, whether it's today or tomorrow. Same exact structure will get traded tomorrow. Okay? So nothing has changed. I'm going to leave all my levels exactly how they are. If the market doesn't want to pull back, no problem. I'm perfectly fine with waiting for it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go enjoy this weather here in Miami because it's gorgeous, double gorgeous. If you guys have anybody that you'd like to see at the FX Summit, please recommend them. Let them know to come out. Let them know to reach out to us in their chats. And I think that this is going to be the most exciting convention that we've ever had to date. Said Emil's speech was too good. Dude, shout out to Emil, man. Shout out to Emil Machado. Emil, if you hear this, bro, I got nothing but respect for you. And we're gonna go to Puerto Rico as the first stop on the tour. And I'm bringing Emil and I'm bringing Lasaldo with me. And we're gonna give Puerto Rico the level of we're gonna give Puerto Rico what it deserves. Because the last few people that have gone to Puerto Rico have tried to pitch them into these scam ass prop firms. Everyone lost money. Everybody got invested in bots and all this other shit. The Latin community got completely screwed by the people who were supposed to be championing that community. Okay? These guys robbed everybody in the American markets. They're like, oh, time to go somewhere else. So we're going to go country by country and we're going to make trading great again. Hashtag make Forex great again. 2024. Everybody, great to see y'all. Happy and safe trading. Wait for that pullback, and I'm going to catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning to trade this market. Bullish NASDAQ until next year. Don't let anyone else tell you different. Okay? Hey, Roy, would you take 2 minutes out? Can you please look at It's Don Vo on YouTube, streams of him trading, and tell me if I'm getting scammed or he seemed like he knows what he's doing? First things first, the answer is yes. I will do that tomorrow because I do have to get off. I promise. Remind me again tomorrow, Rob, and I promise you I got you. Second, we can't tell if someone's a scam just from their public persona. It's impossible. Without proof, I don't call people scams. I am very careful of who I call a scam and who I don't, because otherwise it's defamation. I'm not trying to sit here and defame someone's character without any proof. If I've seen the proof, I'm comfortable calling them out. And so even if even if he sounds really good on his streams and he's competent in trading, doesn't mean he's not selling scam platforms. Okay? Don Vo, the real one. I'll ask around. I'll get back to you on that. I've never heard of him up until now. But I like hearing about new people. I'm tired of hearing the same names. Dwayne says Don Vo is a real one. Well, all right. It's a good first take. You got people already standing up for Don Vo. Nobody sat here and stood up for the other guys that was lighting up. Roy, come to Ghana? I would love to. Ghana is definitely going to be on that tour. I hear Don Vo is a good guy. Holy shit. All right. If this many people defending somebody, I got to find out who this guy is. Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. Okay. Take it easy, y'all. Have a great day. Happy and safe trading, and I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's stream. Peace.